I'm nervous to ask this, but you did say at the start of the year that you were considering attempting celibacy. Is that something that you have continued with?
What time do you finish work?
Before becoming a political commentator, Russell Brand made numerous apparitions on television where he seemed to charm most of the people he was interacting with. In this video, therefore, we won't dive into his political or religious views, but rather study how he was able in so many instances to charm people so effortlessly, even when there were some strong disagreements on the line, ultimately allowing him to make somebody go from this
What do you mean? There's
you love
no.
this, don't
What do you mean?
You're always banging on
What
about
do you mean?
Venezuela.
Yeah.
to this.
Insightful
Russell,
and wise.
you really changed my mind.
Thank you for giving
what
us
you
that.
said was so insightful and so wise. I'm so glad to be here.
That's the trailer.
Whenever there is some argument, some conflict, some debate in the place you are evolving into, or in the room you find yourself in, the number of people in that same place who already like you will play a tremendous part in how your message is being received and perceived. If you start the conversation by offering compliments to the people you are interacting with, you're kind of framing their mind to feel good about themselves in your presence, and as a consequence they will tend to react much more positively to anything you might say later, even when you may go over the board.
That woman, Fifi Box, for me exemplifies all that is great about Australia. She is fun, she is frivolous, she is beautiful, exuberant, full of life, plucky, can-do spirit. She's unstoppable. I adore her.
I can't keep up with you. You're just way
You don't need
too
to
quick.
keep up with me. You're perfect.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
And on the example with Candace Owens, he made multiple times compliments about things he could notice about her. Even when you know consciously that compliments may not be 100% legit all the time, our ego just likes to hear positive things about ourselves. And it helps framing in our mind the person who said them as somebody of value, somebody that we can trust.
What I feel, Candice, is you're a powerful person. You're driven, you've come from nothing, and you've achieved a lot in your life. Look, I've been a bit glib and a bit silly at several points during this conversation because I find you very charming and interesting to talk to.
The next element to remember is that nobody really likes overly dogmatic people unless we already agree with them from the beginning. When you want to become a social magnet like Russell is, it is also important to not take yourself too seriously or uptight either.
Doesn't mean you can't. You're not qualified to talk about race.
Yeah, no, I'd talk about anything. As a matter of fact, I mean, 90% of the things I say, I'm just making up as I go along. I'm sure that comes across.
By using self-deprecation in this way, Russell Brand is often diffusing conflict away from the mind of his interlocutors, like the old saying goes, when you become too likable to be disliked. That can happen, and that is what he's playing with most of the time. This means that the same exact argument, statement, or even political opinion can be accepted or rejected solely based on who is saying it. And I know this is really harsh because we would all like to believe we are strong, independent thinkers, but the truth is, quite often, who delivers the message is more important than the message itself. When you legitimately like, or at least find something interesting or charming about the person who delivers the message, that might play on your judgment of how positive or not this message or opinion truly is. And to that extent, I have also prepared 2 documents down below that you can check if you want. One of them is on frame control. How do you handle toxic situations or difficult conversations where you can't get a word in, and the other one is on the more flirtatious aspect of language. How can you make your language more tantalizing or more flirtatious whenever you are in front of a woman you would like to date? How can you present what you have to say, or how can you frame her mind in such a way that she finds you more attractive? Those documents are down below. And to come back to Russell Brand, by injecting so much humor every time he's into conflicting situations, he's also amplifying the image of the likable person you would have a harder time to disagree with, because you still like him in the end. As the other saying goes, it is not really what you say, it is how you say it.
This is the way the world works.
Yeah, I appreciate that we have certain natural impulses to trade and to cooperate. I suppose where you and I are arguing vociferously and passionately, Candice, is on the front.
Finally, what he was doing quite often, that might be harder if you don't have any experience in stand-up comedy, in stage performance of any sort, is to play with his ongoing environment and to comment about what is happening in his direct environment so that he could get people to laugh about it more easily.
You're from England.
Another dimension.
Yeah, England. I brought you some tanning.
I like
Tan.
that. Hey, that's racist.
Anyway, it's instant. You
Is
just
this a
put it
product
on.
placement? Like Lara Bingle. Hey, what's your name?
Well, I just got married, so I'm doing the rebranding.
Tan Moose.
Are you rebranding it? Yeah, I eventually am.
Well, someone's enjoying it.
But even in a more serious context, the simple fact of being aware of your interlocutor, how they are behaving, are they more agitated, at which moment did they start to pause, calm down their voice, and at which moment did they start to get more higher pitched, elevated. When you can remain aware of those things, it also builds more rapport between you and them, because their unconscious mind can spot that you're really being attentive to how they feel. Whenever somebody is changing their behavior, it is because of one emotion, one feeling that has been processed or unprocessed at this moment. The fact you comment on that, like, oh, right now I can see you are behaving differently. Oh, is there something wrong? Because I can see you have been pulling away from me 2 seconds ago. When you can demonstrate that level of attention, the person might get much more comfortable around you and again like what you say much more, even what you say about them, even when that might be slightly negative, because they can sense, okay, you are really present with them right now in the moment and not just in your head waiting for your turn to crush their statement. You are just here with them right now, human to human, in a great environment.
He's a good person after what he did to Haiti.
Candice, I don't disagree with you. I mean, like, I think more broadly, I can see how you meet a lot of your goals by condemning apparently left-centrist politicians who I've already told you, I don't see the distinction between left and right within the limited framework of conventional political
that's fair.
dialectic as meaningful. Yeah, go on, have some stuff to eat. Perhaps the problem is actually that you're hungry. I think what's essentially happened is a hungry person is coming here and is taking it out on those vulnerable members of society, the victims, me and the black community, and we've had enough. We've had it up to here. Me and the black community. We're sick of this.
Now you sound like every leftist politician. It's great.
God, historically scarring.
I didn't live through slavery, so why would I be scarred by that?
Well, there is some evidence to suggest that there is a hereditary trauma. I mean, even psychological.
Sounds like it was written by a leftist professor, probably at Cambridge.
Because, well, the same way that we evolve features, we evolve emotionally, and something as recent as that.
That is so ridiculous. Everybody then everybody feels it, because everyone has been a slave at some point. There was slavery here too.
Yeah, but
there was slavery.
I know that.
On
I'm not saying
continent,
England's
everywhere in the
great. I
world.
know what.
So did you feel your slavery pain the other week?
I'm from Essex.
Should we hold hands?
We did not
the
have
slavery that we both experienced when we follow. Oh my gosh. Oh, it feels so good to acknowledge,
Candice, for God's sake,
finally, the
some
pain
people-
that we both feel.
People that
with the
are only getting the
slavery
audio
in
of
our
this
history.
might be concerned, Candice. Now listen, Jenny Murphy, you've got to get this picture before Candice pulls her elegant hand out of
We've
here.
all been slaves. It's so sad. No, this feels good.
So if you want to discover the more sensual ways of using language to seduce somebody you find attractive, you have a document down below with the 5 of the best language patterns I could find to make a conversation escalate more easily towards something sensual whenever I wanted to do so. And you also have a document on frame control if you tend to find yourself in conflicting environments where people are not interested in letting you speak. You have those 2 down below. If you want to check them out, be my guest. And in any case, I will see you soon in the next video. Keep watching.